Oh, so Lucas, what are we talking about today, my friend?
We're going to be talking about Alex fucking Mercer.
Yeah, prototype, the Edge. So far away, Lucas, as you often do, we'd like to let the lovely audience at home know what the topic of today's Wiki Weekends is.
Yeah, so as I just mentioned, we're talking about Alex Mercer from the video game Prototype.
Yes, and its accompanying universe, and we're referring specifically to the Prototype Wiki, which is a thing we learned existed 3.5 minutes ago. Because we're playing this game. I'm not sure when this video will be going out, but I'm playing this game on my personal gaming channel, and you can check out a link to that below. But before you go and click away from this video, let's talk about Alex Mercer and how fucking cool he is. So Lucas, I would consider myself to be a huge fan of this video game series and its accompanying universe, but you not so much. You played the games, and then
I just played and enjoyed the games when they came out, and that's about it.
Or something we talked about in the playthrough that we did is that this is one of the few games that I have completed 100%. By which I mean the first Prototype game, because I just enjoy the movement of it, and I adore the universe because it's so fucking edge. For example, here's a picture of Alex Mercer. Look at that edgelord.
Oh,
and he's
God,
a scientist.
That's some mid-2000s edge right there.
That is, isn't it? I love it. A guy's edgy when he's wearing two pop collars at once. But yeah, let's start with some biographical information about Mr. Alex Mercer. So he is name Alex Mercer, also known as Zeus.
Yep.
Which is the name the military give him when they're hunting him down, and the Prototype. So he is the eponymous Prototype. Then we have affiliations, the Infected, and Gentech, which is the scientist he works with. Yes, he's a scientist. Look at this fucking nerd. So Dr. Alexander J Mercer, Alex. So doesn't that make him sound so much less cool? It's like Dr. Alexander Mercer.
Yeah.
And then Alex Mercer sounds like a fucking villain. So also known as the Prototype, or his codename Zeus, was the former head researcher of the Blacklight Project at Gentech. After learning that those affiliated with the project were being systematically murdered, Mercer attempted to flee the city with a sample of his research contained in a vial. Cornered at Penn Station, Mercer smashed the vial and unleashed the deadly virus into the surroundings. The fuck you didn't win.
Yeah, basically.
He just did the 0% hero kamikaze.
Kamikaze. This spell produces an extremely powerful explosion, but this also results in self-destruction.
You don't win. Fuck you, releasing a viral outbreak that would consume all of Manhattan.
Yeah.
So he is the villain of that game. You're playing as the villain, which you probably should have realised when you can have the option to murder people from second one.
Yeah.
After awaking at a Gentech facility with no recollection of his past, Alex Mercer escaped the building and soon discovered his new powers and abilities. Granted by the virus, he unleashed and began to utilise his power to learn more of his fragmented past as he scoured New York for those responsible. And spoilers, it turns out, Alex Mercer is not Alex Mercer. He is a living embodiment of the virus. He is no longer Alex Mercer. Just when he died, the virus consumed his body and took on his memories and form.
Yeah.
So he is he's basically like Venom. He's just a living mass of disease that's flowing around New York and killing everybody. So powers and abilities. Once reanimated by the Blacklight virus, every particle of Mercer's form, including his clothing and equipment, became comprised entirely of viral biomass. This is why I love this universe, because everything in it sounds so fucking metal. This substance can be manipulated at will. He can absorb the organic matter of other living creatures, converting it into more biomass. This process sustains and regenerates Mercer's health and is referred to as consuming. In addition, Mercer can consume individuals, absorbing their knowledge, skills, and even their physical form, which he can call upon at will. He can manipulate his physical form to create weapons and attack his enemies, generate armor to defend himself, and take on the appearance of another person to disguise himself. During his battle against James Helly, he has the ability to consume multiple of his evolved soldiers at the same time in order to power himself up. And this is the core of his power set, which I think is so interesting, is that he is essentially just this dense mass of just bioorganic material that's so just condensed that he weighs 3 tons. Which is why you can jump and hit so hard. It's great. And what's your favourite power that you have in that game? Because mine's just the big dumb Hulk Ultimate Destruction Fists.
Oh, okay, I think I've got an edgier answer, and it's the giant blade arm.
The giant blade arm. Okay, that's a good one. But I'd like the Hulk Ultimate Destruction Fist because the description for them in the game is you put 1 ton of condensed organic metal into each of your fists and then swing them around. Other abilities include disease manipulation. Oh, that's rough. That's a rough day for whoever's fighting Alex. Alex Mercer was shot and killed at Penn Station. The viral blacklight he stole, as insurance was released and climbed into his body and slowly changed him into what was called the prototype. Confused as to who it was and what it had become, the virus received the late Mercer's memories and so adapted his identity. Mercer is capable of infecting others, either turning others into infected drones he can control, or granting the infected individual similar subset of his powers as his own. Viral gas generation. Caught on a CCTV camera, Mercer is shown to have the ability to generate and expel a cloud of gas from his body containing the virus. So he can just release fart gas that kills everyone. Critical mass. Upon consuming enough biomass, Mercer is capable of entering a critical mass state. Due to the extra mass, his durability increases, allowing him to tank more damage. Similarly, due to having more biomass at his command, he's capable of using his strongest attack, the Devastators, which is where he just explodes excess biomass out of his body violently, as like tendrils that can like pierce through tanks, or just giant spikes that erupt from the ground and kill everything.
Yeah, man, he unleashes like his level 3 super.
Yeah, that's you know that's like all meter.
Yeah.
Like those things, they are like all your meter at once. That's like hits level 1 in fighters, which is like he spends all his meter. It's like fuck it, empty the clip. Memory assimilation. Upon consuming an individual, Mercer gains access to all their memory, skills, and talents. So allowing Mercer to suddenly master various new skills with weaponry, vehicle usage, and even military tactics.
And I think my favourite part of that is like when he makes tanks stronger.
Yeah, he gets better at driving tanks, so the tank has more armour. Yeah. Shape-shifting. Due to Mercer being fully comprised of the blacklight viral biomass, he's capable of shaping the biomass within him into virtually anything he can imagine. He can shape his arms into various weapons, such as blades and whips, and can change his form to match the appearance of anyone he consumed, no matter their gender, even morphing the biomass within his body to form mundane items such as clothes. And yet, he still picks his edgy-the-hedgy outfits. You know what? That man was edged to the core. Even though he's no longer Alex Mercer's commitment to the edge was so strong that it seeped into the virus.
Yeah, so actually became part of the virus's personality.
Because even in Prototype 2, when it's like Alex Mercer, he's like, no, fuck it, I am the virus, he still wears that outfit. Voice mimicry. Due to both of Mercer's ability to shapeshift and assimilate the memories of others, he's capable of altering his vocal cords to match the voices of people that he has consumed. If Mercer is aware of himself having consumed someone close to his opponent, he can alter his voice to mess with his opponent's mind.
Oh!
So he can talk
such a dick move.
So he can do the Metal Gear Solid 3 tech of like turning into your loved one. Like when you're fighting Volgin and you turn into like Colonel Rykov and you wear his mask. And then just use it to gain like a free hit on your balls.
Yeah.
Bio Shield, that's a great name. Mercer, due to his shape-shifting ability, much like his other powers, is capable of manipulating his biomass to form various weapons and armors. One of these powers is the ability to form a shield on either one of his arms, allowing him to stop a point-blank range shot from a tank. Bio Armor. When faced with a situation where Mercer is either taking damage from all directions or facing a foe that rivals him in strength or power, he's capable of hardening the outer layer of biomass that makes his appearance into an armor-like texture. This blocks most damage outright and reduces incoming damage that it cannot be deflected by a large degree. It increases durability to the point where he can take on the Supreme Hunter and even tank multiple hits from high-yielding artillery without suffering any damage. So basically, like you could just stand there as you call an artillery strike on him, like, and what? Then we have here his various powers, which include Bio Claws, which are his Wolverine claws. Then we have the Hammer Fists, because these are the ones I want to talk about, the Hulk Ultimate Destruction Fists.
Yeah.
When in need of some brute physical force, Mercer is shown to be able to move the biomass within his body into his arms, covering them in the same fibres that make up his shield and armour form, while at the same time enlarging them to the size of a large hammer. With these new Hammer Fists, Mercer is capable of delivering massive amounts of blunt force trauma to the point of even being able to destroy a tank in a few hits.
And the first thing you showed me with that power when we were playing is that you just charged up a punch and unleashed it into a crowd of civilians who all exploded immediately.
Yeah, you can also as well, I think the best ability you buy when you get that is the elbow drop, where you put... You just channel Randy Savage and put all your biomass into your elbow, and you can elbow drop things from the top of the Empire State Building. And it's just like an instant kill on everything, because of course it fucking is.
Oh god, that'd be terrifying, just seeing a guy elbow drop from the top of the fucking Empire State Building.
And then just destroy a tank. So we have his skills, Indomitable Will. He's living virus. How does he have will? Anyway, Mercer is shown to have some incredible willpower during the events of the first Prototype games. He was shown to be capable of resisting Elizabeth Green's control over the hive mind. and thus all infected. Oh, so okay. So he later consumes her and takes her place as the leader of the hive mind. Get right.
Fuck you.
Biological and genetic expert, Mercer is an expert in the scientific fields of biology and genetics, having attained a PhD for the latter prior to his infection. Martial arts master. It is believed that prior to his mutation at the start of the first game, Alex Mercer had trained in martial arts to some degree. I like the idea that before he became infected, Alex Mercer was just a fucking weeb. He was like a nerd. He played video games.
Yeah.
Like he was like doing martial arts. He was doing like, he said he also does parkour. He did parkour prior to being infected, which is why he can do super parkour.
Oh my god.
So he was just a nerd, and his powers are like based on like the fact he likes video games. So he's making like big war hammers with his fists.
Like he actually played Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Was like, yeah, I
was
love
like,
it.
This is what I'm gonna do. Stealth master. Of course, he's a stealth. He could be anybody.
He can.
And all this stuff here, he just says that basically he's an expert on everything that he consumes. So he just lists here like every conceivable like skill you can have in the game. Of like master military operator, master like tank commander and stuff like that. And then like expert hacker, multilingual. He's fluent in almost every language on Earth due to the amount of people he's consumed.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. He just surely has at this point an unlimited amount of skills in everything because he's just consumed everyone and taken their abilities.
Yeah, he's basically Jet Li from the One. Potentially limitless superhuman strength. So his incredible strength allows him to lift and destroy cars, trucks, tanks, turrets, APCs and helicopters and throw them a great distance, as well as leave craters in the ground with punches. He is far stronger than any normal human, able to pulverize both with a single glancing blow. Mercer is capable of punching holes through almost anything necessary, including reinforced steel doors. Some of his most powerful attacks can destroy entire buildings, which cannot be damaged by conventional tank missiles. So they've been infected like that hive shit we talked about earlier that strengthens them. He's able to lift and throw objects as heavy as a tank, several hundred feet, even able to run with these objects without his speed being impaired. His strength is on such a level he can overpower any other superhumanly strong character in the series.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to see how he deals with a Hulk, but yeah.
I think though they mean like limitless strength relative to an ordinary human.
Exactly, yeah.
It says here that he's able to create concussive shockwaves just by thrusting his fists forwards, uplifting cars, tanks, and throwing people several tens of feet with enough force to vaporize them. It says here like superhuman healing factor. His body has vast powers of self-regeneration so long as he's properly nourished, which means he eats people.
Yeah.
As long as he eats people, he's all right.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Potentially limitless superhuman durability. Mercer's durability, much like his strength, is potentially limitless as he absorbs more and more biomass. That's the point, isn't it? It's like as long as he just keeps eating people, he gets stronger every time he does.
And then he still got taken out by fucking Hela in Prototype 2.
Yeah, and then something that they mention here is that he can also consume things like trees.
Oh, right.
So he could just walk into a forest and consume all the trees and go.
Why doesn't he just take Central Park?
I think that's an ability he gets in one of the comics.
Ah, right, okay.
And then we have here evolutionary adaptability. Due to the black light virus abilities constantly evolve based on the situation and information presented, Mercer is capable of adapting to nearly any situation, forming any weapon or defensive capabilities he requires for the situation at hand. And then immortality. Due to being made of biomass, his aging process comes to a halt, and due to him constantly healing and replacing any damaged biomass, he is in a sense immortal. And it says here that his final power is limitless potential. Mercer is interesting even among other fictional characters, even those within the video game media. This is written really strangely. It's written like it's by a guy writing an essay.
Yeah.
Being one of the few characters showcased to have near limitless potential to show his powers works. Mercer was shown to be many times stronger than normal. This isn't where his limits are, however. Upon consuming other biological entities, Mercer is capable of converting them into biomass, which is then added to his own, increasing his stats as strength and durability with each body he consumes. So long as there is enough biological materials to consume, Mercer's physical potential is limitless, similarly due to his ability to assimilate memories of those he consumes. There is no real limit to his own intelligence, so long as there are living beings for him to consume. And then he's killed by the guy in the next one. It's like,
it's really weird, because that's a perfect excuse to make a sequel and give him more powers.
Yeah, but they do. I like the idea that the sequel is you fight the main character from the first game. But one of the things I don't like about that is that Alex Mercer in that first game is so fucking OP. How do you beat him? And the only thing I like though is that when you beat him in the second game, as you like absorb him and gain all his powers, because that's the thing, like you think about how powerful he is, then you absorb him. The last thing he says before being absorbed is "Welcome to the top of the food chain." Which, yeah, you know what? Yeah, welcome to the top of the fucking food chain.